featured Hair Talk by Dr. Teresa Oholaga, while the head personnel
News at 8, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board uncovers over 1,000 fake A-level results. Details shortly. Stay with us. Thank you for staying on. You are watching the Delta Television main news at 8. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has said it has uncovered at least 1,665 fake A-level results during the 2023 direct entry registration exercise. The board also said the A-level results verification regime was characterized by corruption associated with the system. Registrar of JAM, Professor Ishak Koloyede, disclosed these when he received leadership of the National Association of Nigeria Colleges of Education students in his office in Abuja. He said, out of the figures, 397 were from the colleges of education, 453 were university diplomas, and the rest were other A-level certificates. The registrar records that in the past, when a candidate applied for direct entry, the board would simply ask awarding institutions to do the necessary screening and due diligence. He stated that JAM was shocked by the revelations from Bayero University, Kano, where out of the 148 direct entry applications to the institution, only 6 of the certificates forwarded for processing were genuine. The registrar added that it was the discovery of the fraud that prompted the meeting of critical stakeholders who met to chart ways of combating the menace. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
Of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, has appointed a former minister, Judith Suminwa Tuluka, as the country's first ever female prime minister. Suminwa Tuluka, a former planning minister, is replacing Sama Lukonde, who resigned in February. Her appointment follows a lengthy search for a majority coalition in the National Assembly, a key step before a prime minister could be named and a government formed. The ruling Union for Democracy and Social Progress Party secured the majority position, beating the other 44 parties. Tuluka is expected to name a new cabinet in the coming weeks. The Prime Minister heads the government, which is also composed of ministers and deputy ministers. An aid organization, World Central Kitchen (WCK), has paused its operation in the Gaza region following the death of its employees on humanitarian mission. WCK's chief executive Erin Gur said on Tuesday in Gaza that he was heartbroken and appalled that they lost beautiful lives because of a targeted attack by the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF). In a statement on Tuesday, the Spanish aid organization said 7 WCK employees were killed in an IDF airstrike on the Gaza Strip on Monday. Report says the 7 were from Australia, Poland, the United Kingdom, and a dual citizen of the US and Canada and the Palestinian authorities, and that they were traveling in a deconflicted zone in 2 armored cars branded with a WCK logo. The organization said despite coordinating movements with the IDF, the convoy was hit as it was leaving a warehouse in Deir al-Balah. Reacting, the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) said in a telegram post on Monday night that it was investigating the incident. It said IDF makes extensive efforts to enable safe delivery of humanitarian aid and has been working closely with WCK to provide food and humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. A child has died and two others have been seriously injured in a school shooting in Finland. The country's national police have confirmed the incident, said the victims were 12 years old. Report says a suspect, also aged 12, and a student at the same school fled on foot but was later caught by police in a suburb north of the Finnish capital, Helsinki. According to the report, officers were called to Vietola School in the city of Vantaa at about 9 a.m. local time on Tuesday. It added that the handgun used in the shooting was licensed to a close relative of the shooter and that police said they have no details about the motive, even as the suspect had been charged with murder and attempted murder. Vietola Primary School lie about 11 miles north of Helsinki. It had around 800 students between 1st and 9th grade and around 90 staff members. Finland enjoys a strong tradition of hunting, and its gun ownership rates are among the highest in the world, but school shootings are extremely rare. And in Kenya, Kenya's largest public referral hospital has announced that it will dispose hundreds of unclaimed bodies currently at its morgue if family members will not collect them. The Kenyatta National Hospital, in a statement today, called on members of the public to identify and collect the bodies within 7 days, but failure to which the hospital will seek authority from the courts to dispose of them. The 541 bodies include 475 babies and 66 adults. The hospital published the names of the deceased, but the identities of a few of the bodies are unknown. The hospital and other public hospitals and morgues in Kenya frequently issue notices for relatives to collect unclaimed bodies. Bodies that remain uncollected after the grace period are often buried in mass graves. The bodies are usually of patients who die in hospital without the knowledge of their families. Some families also opt to abandon bodies of their loved ones in mortuaries when they cannot afford to clear their hospital or mortuary bills.
Sheriff Uburiwori has congratulated the Olu of Wari Kingdom, Ogame Atuashe III, on his 40th birthday. In a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Aho, Governor Buriwori stated that since the Olu ascended the throne of his ancestors, the Shekeri nation had remained peaceful and welcoming to investors. He said Ogame Atuashe III's reign had immensely benefited the people of Warri Kingdom, Delta State, and Nigeria as a nation. Governor Buriwori expressed satisfaction with how the traditional ruler has carried out his responsibilities and had continued to be a source of pride to the traditional institution and the country. He prayed God to continue to bless the Olu with good health and wisdom so he could lead his kingdom to greatness and make significant contributions to advancement of Delta State. Similarly, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Emomotimi Gore, has celebrated with the Olu of Warri, Ogame Atuashe III, on his 40th birth anniversary. In a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Nkem Weke, the Speaker said that at 40, Atuashe III had achieved so much for himself, family, the Shekiri nation, and the society at large, while urging the Shekiris never to lose focus in their support for the Olu to attract greater peace and development to the kingdom and the state at large. Honorable Gold said, with the presence of peace, stability, and unity of purpose, governments, multinational companies, and other development partners will be interested to invest in the locality. He prayed for God's guidance and grace for the Olu. Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The federal government has announced a new price of natural gas for power generation companies. An agency of the federal government, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, unveiled the new domestic base price and wholesale prices of natural gas for 2024 jacking it up to $2.42 per metric million British thermal units from the previous rate of $2.18 metric million British thermal units. A statement by the chief executive of NMDPRA, Mr. Farouk Ahmed, also pegged the cost of commercial gas at $2.92, up from the previous cost of $2.5. Mr. Ahmed said the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, assented to by President Bola Tinubu and gazetted, provided a clear regulatory framework for the determination of a market-based pricing regime for the domestic gas market. He further explained that the increase was in line with Section 167, the third and fourth schedule of the PIA 2021, which mandated the regulator to determine the domestic base price and the marketable wholesale price of natural gas supplied to the strategic sectors. The NMDPRA then emphasized that it has set the 2024 domestic base price at 2.42 and wholesale price for natural gas in strategic sectors, following consultations with stakeholders and in compliance with the PIA and gas pricing regulations. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria has said that the recovery of the naira has led to a relative decrease in the prices of goods and services in the country. The president of the association, Mr. Aminu Gwadebe, in a statement, hailed the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to allow Bureau de Change to operate in the foreign currency market, adding that it was a major factor in the recovery of the naira. The CBN banned the operation of BDCs in July 2001 as part of measures to stabilize the local currency. APCON had been championing the campaign for BDCs to be allowed to operate formally in the current markets. The Apex Bank in February reinstated BDCs in the official forex market. In the statement, the APCON president said, aside from monetary policy tightening that led to interest rate hikes and more investment in government instruments and clearance of forex backlog, forward and commitments, the recall of the BDCs has significantly boosted dollar liquidity at the retail end of the forex market.
Sports. Nigeria's most successful club in Africa, Ayimba International of Aba, will now take part in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, following the new ranking for clubs selected to play in the Global Club World Cup next year. Ayimba and other football clubs from Nigeria will not feature in the money spinning event after the nation's team's failure to light the prestigious CAF Champions League or the CAF Confederations Cup in the past 5 years. Ayimba is the only Nigerian side to have won the elusive CAF Champions League twice between 2003 and 2004, is not among Africa's top 4 ranked teams, hence its failure to qualify for the competition, which is expected to hold in the United States of America, June 15 to July 13 next year. According to FIFA, Al Ali of Egypt, Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, and 2 other teams from the current list of quarter-finalists in this year's CAF Africa Champions League have been picked to represent Africa in the 32 club formats of the rejuvenated FIFA Club World Cup. FIFA said that Europe had been handed 12 slots, with South America designated 6 slots, while Asia, Africa, and North Central America getting 4 slots each. Oceania has 1 slot, just as host country, the United States of America, has 1 slot. That's our news. Here's a thought for the day. Never regret being a good person to the wrong people. Your behavior says everything about you, and theirs says enough about them. And now to end the Delta Television main news, here are the highlights. The wife of the state governor and founder of the You Matter Charity Foundation, Deaconess Tobore Oboriwori, has promised to establish at least 3 autism special care centers across the 3 senatorial districts of the state to address challenges faced by autistic persons. Deaconess Oboriwori made the promise while marking this year's World Autism Awareness Day with special needs children at the General Hospital ECMA in Uwe local government area. The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has declared that religion cannot divide the upper legislative chamber in Nigeria, despite senators belonging to different faiths. Senator Akpabio, who spoke while hosting his Muslim colleagues and attended by a few others who are Christians for breaking a fast in Abuja, said, "Everyone serves only one God." The House of Representatives Committee on Disabilities has invited management of a popular food outlet, Kentucky Fried Chicken, over the alleged ill treatment of Mr. Adebola Daniel, son of former Ogun State Governor Chinga Daniel, and a person living with disability. And from abroad with its report, several African leaders attended the inauguration of Senegal President-elect Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye. Mr. Faye won last month's delayed elections, securing 54% of the total votes ahead of his main challenger, ruling coalition candidate, Mr. Amadou Ba. And that's our news. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the news crew, Joy Uchi is my name. Good night.